What is going on, everybody? We are back with another wrestling review. This is CCW. I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we had a really, honestly, probably the best Smackdown in like 4 years. And then an okay Collision.
Yeah,
That we get to
wasn't
talk
too bad.
about.
Smackdown was fine. It was the tale of two segments.
Tell
And
the two segments that were like an hour and a half long total.
uh,
And then 30 minutes of
they're
just...
about an hour and 10 minutes
Yeah.
ish.
So we're in Chicago. Cole and Greaves are on commentary.
Nice there.
We get an in-ring segment. We start with John Cena. He gets a huge pop. This is his last time on SmackDown. He says he has nothing planned. He just wanted to have fun tonight. Cena says the Chicago crowd is the best crowd in wrestling, even though he just told Paris that they're the best crowd in wrestling. So I don't know anymore.
He's just pandering to town. Whichever town he's in is going to be the best until he retires, which is fine.
He thanks the crowd for keeping him honest. Cena says, "Thank you for a beautiful ride and enjoy your night." As he's about to walk out, U.S. champ Sami Zayn comes to the ring and gets booed severely, which confused the hell out of me. He did say he's not there to interrupt. Sami said thank you on behalf of everyone in the back and especially himself for everything that he's done for them. He said when he debuted against Cena, it was for the U.S. title because Sami Zayn debuted on the main roster during the U.S. Open Championship.
The U.S. Open Challenge, yep.
And Sami then asked for John's permission to do the same, but call it the Sami Zayn U.S. Open Challenge. And Cena said, "Yeah, that sounds great." He goes to leave again. Sami's like, "Hold on, buddy." He's like, "It would be an honor for you to be the first person that I wrestle for the U.S. Championship tonight." Sami says, "How about, here in Chicago, right here, right now?" And Sami says, "If you want some, come get some." John smiles. He asks the crowd, you guys want this to hear right now?" And the crowd's like, "Yes." They start doing the Daniel Bryan yes chants.
Yeah.
And Cena says, "What the hell? You're on," and calls for the referee. So we get match 1, which is the WWE U.S. Championship match. John Cena versus Sami Zayn.
John Cena. Thank you, Santino.
Yes.
You're full of deep cuts tonight.
I am. Back when wrestling was fun. So the match was extremely slow to start for me. They fucked up a leapfrog early on, which made me laugh.
Yeah, Cena was supposed to go under him because Sami did his little spot where he springboards a leapfrog backwards.
Right.
To get repositioned, and Cena
ran right through him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crowd, for some reason, has absolutely turned on Sami Zayn. And some people are like, "Oh, it's just because he was wrestling Cena," but like, no, he was booed when he beat Solo. Like, he is legit garnered heat for some reason with the WWE fans, and I don't get it.
I don't either, because they were just literally, unless they blame him for Cross's thing, but nobody's chanting for Cross either now. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we'll see next week. When he's not facing Cena, and maybe there's a normal heel babyface type matchup.
Right. Cena catches Sami in an AA pretty quick into the match. Of course, Sami kicks out. Cena starts to then, about midway through to towards the end, he starts running through a bunch of his ex-opponent's finishers.
Yeah, he did an angle slam. He did an ankle lock. He did a GTS.
He hits one of the ugliest pop-up power bombs I've ever seen in my life.
It was very safe.
Obviously, in tribute to KO. Sami goes for the haluva kick, but Cena moves and then hits an angle slam, which somebody absolutely fucked up the name of. I think he called it was it? I think it was Cole.
It was Cole, but I can't remember what he called it.
I don't remember what he called it, but I was like, dude, it was clearly an angle slam. Like, and of course, it's not the only time he fucks it up. One time, I'm pretty sure it's because he was afraid of getting in trouble, but we'll get to that in a second. So We get a back and forth punch spot just for Joe.
Of course.
Cena then hits an angle lock, which is just a high standing ankle lock, but it's Angle's version of it. Sammy gets out of it, and then John gets Sammy into the STFU. Sammy almost gets to the ropes, and then Cena drags him back to the middle of the ring. At least Sammy didn't actually touch the ropes. Sammy claws back to the ropes. Cena goes to drag him back again, and then Sammy hits John with an AA. Sammy goes for the hula kick again. Cena hits him with another AA. Sammy kicks out again. Crowd starts chanting, "Ref, you suck." I don't know why they're blaming the ref here, because the ref counted as soon as fucking Cena started going for the pin.
There has been a lot of kicking out of John's AA lately, though.
Yeah, there has. Sammy hits Sammy hits an exploder suplex in the corner, and we missed it because they were showing a replay of something else.
Yeah, picture in picture, man. It was there.
I was like, that was terrible. Then he hits the haluva kick, and John kicks out. Cena then hits the GTS on Sammy in honor of Punk. Sammy kicks out of that.
Yep.
Cena then does the Edge corner taunt, runs and connects with the spear. Cole tried to attribute it to Reigns, and Corey was like, no, I think that belongs to a certain infamous Canadian. Because I don't know why they can't just say Edge, since that name is a part of WWE.
It's not like he's calling him Cope.
Right.
Because he could even say WWE Hall of Famer Edge.
Right. Cena then goes for an RKO. Sammy counters it and got clotheslined and dropped on the back of his neck.
Yeah, he did.
He tried to do that flip thing that lighter people do, and he just did not. Either Cena didn't get enough push on him for him to fully make it, or he just didn't jump right. I don't know. But yeah, he landed right on the fucking side of his neck. And then Cena goes for a second rope AA in the corner. Sammy almost fights out. Cena gets it anyways, but is too wore out to crawl over and make the cover. You can actually see Cena say something to the ref. This part annoyed me. You can see him say something to the ref. You see the ref lean over and talk into his earpiece. And as soon as that happens,
send him out.
Send him out. Yeah, as soon as that happens, Lesnar's music hits. And I was like, bro, they got to do a better job of hiding that shit.
Cena is very bad at it.
He's
never really been good at hiding when he's calling spots and all that stuff.
Oh, this was especially bad though. I think this is the first time I've ever actually watched it happen and was like, wow, that was bad.
Well, it's on the production too to hide it better.
Right. Lesnar comes out, yanks the ref out of the ring, pretty hard.
Yeah, poor ref. Don't know if he knew he was taking a bump tonight, but
he hits Sami Zayn with the F5 first, and then he hits Cena with two of them. And then he gets out of the ring, puts his cowboy hat back on, looks at Cena. I thought he was going to go in for another one. He did not, though. He smiled, walked off. I said almost the entire first full hour was devoted to this whole thing, just to set up this WrestlePalooza match.
Yep.
And then of course backstage, Lesnar's like, "I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch."
Yep. As he's walking through Gorilla.
And I was like, yeah, okay. That was one of the most uninspired match setups ever. As far as that's not the most. We'll get there. Collision's right around the corner.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. After that, we had a very freaked out Nick Aldis, who's just could see his show falling apart around him, getting stopped by Carmelo Hayes, who is again asking for a U.S. title match, and it's like somebody saying Joe Hendry. As soon as he said U.S. title, The Miz popped up, saying, no, we want a tag team title match. The Wyatt Six ruined our chance, and Aldis said, I'll take it under advisement, and walks off. And Melo's like, why you keep doing this, dude? Yeah. And I was thinking in my notes say, why are we doing this again?
Right.
This is the same old crap. After that, we got a brief Aleister Black promo.
Becky Lynch showed up in her SUV. I almost forgot to write that down as well. I'm not surprised you didn't.
Oh, I saw it. I just didn't think it was
Um, but yeah, she
worthwhile considering we knew she was going to be there.
right. But yeah, Lynch shows up in her SUV. Unfortunately, I knew most of this episode was spoiled for me by the time I even got home to watch it. So, not that it wasn't already.
Yeah, they clipped the hell out of this show for social media. Most of it was ruined for me as well. So, well, after Becky shows up in a black SUV, we got a quick Aleister Black promo. Where he just pretty much states that Priest plays by the rules, but he only plays by the rules until he doesn't. Which
the WWE well is still poisoned.
Yeah, he's like, I left and I came back and it's still bad. And it's just like, dude, I have problems with Black's booking. His booking has been terrible for both runs. Yeah. This particular run has been very bad. Because you didn't have the NXT stuff to fall back on. Because when he was on the main roster, you're like, well, eventually they're going to book him right. Because look what they did with him in NXT. But it just ain't never coming. But this set up the second match of the night, which was Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. Priest came out and got jumped from behind during his intro by Black. Black was pretty much all over him early. Priest tries to hit a comeback and then gets meteored out of the corner. Razor's Edge reversed. Oh no, he hits the Razor's Edge on an announce table, but there was a reversal at one point. The Razor's Edge on the announce table was kind of a crappy spot because the table didn't break.
Right.
I don't like their new tables. What do you think of their new announce tables?
I love the tables themselves, but I'm curious on how often they're forgetting to pull the pins.
Yeah,
because
so they do look cool. They have a spot for all the stuff that's on the table to get dragged into to kind of stay out of the way,
right,
and prevent the wrestlers from getting hurt on them, which I thought was cool. But they don't ever break no more.
Yeah, and that's why I said
something like that. To go ahead.
There's supposed to be like a pin or something that they pull that's supposed to allow them to break easily, so that when people go through them,
back up and
right,
they just pop right back up.
And I'm wondering how often that's just not happening, because there's no reason why this big ass dude shouldn't have gone through this fucking table.
Yeah, it kind of took me out of the match a little bit.
I did write I am the table though, because that is
because of the spot thing. Dude, we're getting like one of those a week now.
Yeah, we are.
Nevertheless, Black cowards off, grabs an official when Priest is about to hit him with a choke slam. It doesn't allow Priest to hit the choke slam, kind of distracts him. Black hits a black mass out of it for the pin. It was a mid TV match. It was okay. Didn't really do anything for anybody. If this was supposed to be some kind of blow off, it was not even close to that.
So here's my problem with this match. So we come back from a commercial break and we start the match. Well, we don't start the match. We start entrances. And I'm talking like commercial break, and then directly from the commercial break, Black starts to come out. Right, or whoever comes out. I think Priest starts to come out because Black attacks him.
During the intro.
He clotheslines, and we're talking within about a minute and a half, if that, of them starting to brawl outside the ring. Black clotheslines Priest over the barrier, and they send it right back to commercial. Like, we just got back from one. And they send us right back into a commercial break. And
it's so Black can get all the heat during the commercial, so Damian can start his comeback as soon as the break is over.
Right.
It's very weird, dude.
But
they do it.
It's not about
for almost every match.
But regardless of like them getting heat, doing whatever, right? Us as viewers, we don't get that. We just get it's right back into a commercial break, and then the match comes back on. They wrestle around. The bell finally, they do a little bit more outside the ring. The bell finally rings. They wrestle for another minute to minute and a half. Because I even wrote down, Aleister gets Priest in this weird octopus-like hold. Then eventually turns into a roll-up pin attempt. that gets kicked out of, and they went into a third commercial break. And I'm like, dude, this match alone has had 3 commercial breaks. It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe that's why it seemed so. Maybe that's why it seemed so mid, because there was no flow to it. You can't get into something where it's constantly interrupted.
And then, even when you're cutting promos now, because I was going to go right into this, after the match is over, we get a Drew McIntyre Randy Orton promo for next week's SmackDown that I didn't even know was a promo until I realized that they were actually talking. Because the whole thing is sponsored.
I was just about to say that.
It's sponsored by T. Why are promos being sponsored? What are we doing?
Money.
Yeah, fuck their money, dude. Like,
money.
Like, I'm real close to just being like, Joe, you're going to have to carry WWE because I'm done.
I'm not far behind you. If it wasn't the
I love this company.
Seth, Becky, and AJ and Punk thing, this show had nothing really for me. The Cena stuff, we knew that stuff was happening. But, like, their work rate isn't fun to watch. It's interrupted like crazy.
I love this company.
Segments go too damn long.
I really do. But everything is about them making money at this point and not about entertaining the people that are watching. It's so focused on trying to make money back that we're getting 3, like I said, 3 commercial breaks per match on top of commercial breaks that are also, they're not even technically commercial breaks, but ad sponsored fucking promos between people. We're getting ads all over the rings, all over the turnbuckles, all over the signs,
tables,
all over the weapons, everything. And you'll be sitting there watching a match, and a little square will pop up in the corner of your screen saying who's sponsoring this match. Like, bro,
yeah.
I can't take it anymore. I don't want to buy anyone's shit. Like, anybody that sponsors WWE at this point, I have made it a point I will not buy their shit.
The bad thing is AEW starting to do it too. They had a match tonight that was sponsored by an advertisement.
I won't buy that shit either. I don't care which company's doing it. Like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Throw it on your backboards that are circling around the fucking arena and hope we catch it, because, like, I'm done. I just don't care.
Yeah, it takes you out of everything, dude. It's ruining wrestling. Their over advertising is ruining wrestling, and they're more profitable than ever.
Yeah,
just because people continue to go to these shows, to watch these shows that are so haphazardly booked and awful, they just make money despite themselves, to where the point where they don't even fucking have to try anymore, and it's so depressing. This show is, other than the beginning and the end, was pretty much a Smackdown show from any time over the last 6 weeks.
Right.
But they're just so big, it's literally too big to fail, and it's just annoying. Which to me makes me a bigger AEW fan, just for the simple underdog aspect of it, and to not being bludgeoned in the face with advertising constantly.
Right. And I have my complaints with AEW too. We'll get to that when we get to Collision.
Yep.
Because, like, there are some things that, like, Bubba Ray said this week that I agree with. And it made a lot of AEW fans mad. And it's like, I mean, he's not wrong. Be mad all you want.
Yeah.
Look,
sometimes the truth hurts.
I will tell you now, I am not a Bubba Ray fan in terms of his opinion on wrestling, but hey, sometimes he says things and it's like, he's right.
Yeah. Bubba Ray on occasion will speak some truth.
So yeah. So I guess we're getting Tiff, like, they announced all these matches on SmackDown. Tiff and Jade is going to be on SmackDown next week. We're gonna get,
and they better not have her lose to Jade Cargill on a fucking just random SmackDown.
We're gonna get Drew versus Randy next week. Backstage, Tiff is being interviewed by Cassie Kelly, and Tiff is like, yeah, Jade talks and runs her mouth a lot. She said that next week Jade doesn't have to worry about her foot being on a rope for a win, because it's going to be planted in the eye of the storm, which is her ass. I thought it was a pretty creative. She should have just finished the sentence, though. She should have just said it's going to be planted in her ass. But Jade is then seen watching that interview on a monitor. She starts to complain about whatever was being said, and Nia comes into frame to talk shit to Jade herself. Jade threatens her, and I just want Nia to go away. That's what I posted in my notes.
Well, Nia is probably going to ruin Jade's opportunity, and that's going to be the reason why Jade doesn't win the title.
Right.
That's going to be Jade's way of getting protected. At least I hope. They better not take the strap off Tiffany in a fucking random SmackDown match.
Right. So then we get match 3.
At least not the Jade Cargill, anyways.
Right. We get match 3, which is the Women's U.S. Championship match, which is Julia with Kiana James versus Michin. But right before that starts, because during the entrances, Becky's on her phone in the back, and Nick comes to her to talk to her, and he didn't know she was going to...
Nick Aldis, that is.
Yeah, he didn't know she was going to be there, and Nick doesn't want any more issues. And Becky's like, I don't cause issues, but I'm going to give you some space because it looks like you need it. But she said it in the most calm, old-school Becky way possible, and it came off as hilarious as fuck, because...
Yeah, she was saving all her healing up to do out in the ring.
Because you knew she was there to cause problems. That's what she does.
Well, of course. And how did he not know she was going to be there when I knew she was going to be there? It only makes sense.
Right. So, early on in this match, Julia hits a pretty nice draping neck breaker from the apron of the ring to the floor.
Yep, that was the best part of this whole match.
It really, well, so then a little bit later, Jade has the Rings of Saturn submission on Michin, which I also liked, because I don't see anyone ever using that anymore. But then at some point, she reverses a suplex, or she goes for a suplex. Michin reverses it into a pretty nice DDT as well. I said it actually looked like the landing was pretty rough. Which it probably wasn't. It's supposed to look that way. But that could be just a testament to when they do something right. Which doesn't happen much in this match. So, Michin hits a cannonball. Julia then hits a Northern Lights sit-out driver, I think is what it was called. I said was an okay move. Michin hits a sit-out powerbomb for a pin. She kicks out. Michin then hits Kiana with a head scissor driver, which is something a lot of people are starting to use lately that I've never seen before.
Yeah, I've seen it before, but it's like old TNA days.
Right. And then Julia hits her the worst looking running knee I have ever seen her. The absolute worst running knee ever. And it's her finisher, the Arrivederci. But the problem is, 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 when she hits this move, it looks vicious.
Not this time.
But this time it looked like she missed. James attacks Michin after for like 5 seconds, and then they quit, and then they left. And I hated this match. I thought for the most part...
It was awful.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
And again, I think Julia made a mistake going to WWE instead of going to AEW. I feel like there are just certain people that are built to be in AEW-style wrestling.
Yep.
And I think Julia's one of them, and I think she's really going to ruin her...
mystique.
Her aura, as the WWE fans likes to use.
Aura.
Because she just hasn't... Her one good match was against Io. Was it Io?
Yeah. Yeah, Io and her had a good match.
Where it looked like they were just beating the fuck out of each other?
Because didn't it get interfered on, so it was a no contest?
I believe so. It was something like that. But yeah, no, No, it was somebody that she was wrestling, and somebody said she looked unsafe.
We must be thinking of Io and Stephanie.
Right, no, because there was somebody that Julia was wrestling, and a lot of people were like, oh, she was unsafe the way she worked. And it's actually how Julia prefers to wrestle. And it looked good. And I think it was on NXT.
Probably.
Oh!
Was it one of those strong style matches?
It was Jordynne Grace, actually.
Oh, yeah. Jordynne Grace is awesome.
Yeah, them two women beat the fuck out of each other. And it was amazing.
Yeah. Jordynne Grace can wrestle pretty much any style.
I don't even watch NXT, but I saw the clips from that match. That match was amazing from what I got to see.
Yep.
All right. And then the last part that I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to let the entire end of the show go to you.
Oh, thank you.
Flair asks backstage, How come nothing ever good happens to her in this city? And Bliss comes in and acting like the doctor and is checking up on Flair and tells Flair that she needs to relax. She goes to check for Flair's heartbeat and she can't hear anything. And she looks confused. And Flair's like, "It's there. Believe me." And Bliss just like, "Okay." And Bliss is like, "All right, well, you're going to need to relax and you're going to need to heal with the power of friendship." And Flair gives this really weird look towards her. And Bliss just walks off the screen. And Flair's left looking
And she's like,
at
"So
Lily.
am I not cleared?
Yeah, she's like, "Am I not cleared?"
Am I not cleared?"
It's just a goofy little segment that
It was goofy. It was just to take some time.
Yeah, and
because they knew they had a long segment coming up.
And give them something to do this week.
Yeah, kept everybody on the mind. Kept everyone thinking about them and the feud, the little mini feud they have with Chelsea and the Her Service.
Right. So go ahead.
The final segment of the night, Seth Rollins' music hits, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be Becky again coming out to Seth's music. No, it actually was. It actually was Seth Rollins coming out. He's in the crowd, up there near the press boxes, and he's just out there running his mouth, and eventually introduces Becky. Becky comes out to her. Still, I'm not into all that much music.
I love it. Love
It's growing on me, but I still don't quite like it. She comes out to heal it up, to get all kinds of cheap heat, like your local sports team sucks.
Oh, so funny story. She goes on lists. So many. So she says, she's like, she didn't expect Chicago to know what greatness looks like. All their teams suck, and she's like going through all of their teams. The only team that
the Blackhawks,
the
Cubs,
the only team that she doesn't mention is the Bears, and that's because Seth is a Bears fan. For those that didn't know.
Yeah, he's from Iowa.
So she purposefully did not mention the Bears in her entire list of these people suck. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it was very low-hanging fruit, but it was pretty much everyone who's here and is from Chicago just sucks.
Yeah.
This, of course, has Punk come out. Punk's music hits. He comes down. Pretty much tells her the same spiel that he did on Monday. Her husband's a coward who hides behind her and Paul Heyman and so on and so on. Just doubling down on the Seth's a coward thing. Punk goes on to name drop a bunch of people that he could have beat Becky up. He's like, I could have my sister hop the rail. He's like, I could have teamed up with Rhea Ripley or Bayley or whatever. And then Becky goes on a slap fest again with him.
You didn't even
the ring.
You didn't even mention the best part of the promo between the two when they were arguing.
What's that?
That's the part where she's like, "How are your face and your pride feeling?" And the crowd starts to chant AJ Lee, and she says, "Stop chanting for her. She doesn't work here," or something like that. He goes, "No, you will let them chant."
Yeah.
Great times. Sorry.
Well, I mean, they were chanting it pretty much the whole time because this was the worst kept secret of anything.
Correct.
But
and we'll talk about why this pisses me off, but we'll get there.
He gets slapped around again, and he gets out of the ring. Essentially, goes, "You just sealed your own fate there," and points to the entrance ramp. And AJ's music hits. AJ comes out looking like she hasn't aged a bit. Skipped to the ring, skipped around the ring.
She still
was really soaking in the moment.
She is still all abs. All abs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's a tiny little thing with just a bunch of abs. She got in the ring, eventually sat in the ropes, just staring at Becky. I about said AJ. Eventually, double legs her, starts beating that ass. Ends up hitting a Thez press and some more punches. Yeah. So beats her up. Becky bails. Seth comes down from the crowd and hops the rail to pick her up. And CM Punk and AJ look strong as they go off the air. Seth literally at one point picks Becky all the way up onto his shoulders to carry her out.
Post match, which we didn't get to see because of when they cut it off, apparently AJ Lee asked Punk if she was allowed to take the IC title home because it was left in the ring. And Punk is like, yeah, she left it. It's yours now.
Yeah, she was posing with that. They were heading out, and the camera people said, no, go back to the ring and soak this in. So they went back to the ring to pose more. AJ was skipping around with the belt in the air.
So
But she looked like she was having a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So good for her.
There are some things that I first and foremost, before I go into any negative, because, I'm not a complete negative Nancy, I love AJ being back. I am super excited that she's back. I would be more excited if she was actually on Smackdown because they need the help. Bad in the women's division, but she's going to be on Raw with Punk.
Sure.
It is what it is, right? So, but here's where some of my problems are with all of this. First and foremost, I don't like this idea that Becky started to look scared when she showed up.
Yeah, she was doing the cowardly heat, whoa thing.
Like, I would have rather her stood her ground and got her ass beat because she's a heel. And she's spent this entire time being a heel and even being champion, picking on the people that she's up against. And AJ's smaller than anyone else she's been in the ring with.
Yeah, but all the people she's been picking on are people who haven't been world champions or are Nikki Bella.
To be fair, and let's be 100% honest, AJ was never a world champion.
No, she got out before the revolution, but she got out before Stephanie McMahon created women's wrestling.
Right. Now, I'm mostly joking with that. Obviously, she was Divas champ. She was one of two wrestlers in the Divas era. The other one being Natty.
And she came in at the tail end. She was like, she was more like the start of the women's revolution.
The other one being Natty, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, there were some crossover because Paige showed up, and Paige was actually really good when she first started.
Yeah, AJ passed the baton to Paige.
But besides all that, I didn't like her just looking scared. Like, I would have rather her looked kind of like annoyed. That like, oh, he really brought this bitch. And then obviously as she starts to get her ass beat, try to get away because that's what you do. But
then you can be the chicken shit heel.
Right. My other
that to me valid criticism.
My other problem that I don't like how choreographed this was. And the reason I don't like how choreographed this was is because instead of this being can't miss TV, you just made it a can't miss episode, right? So a part of wrestling is the surprise and the thrilling moment of the surprise.
That shit's dead though now, man.
And I wish last Monday would not have happened. Like, I wish it would have never been Punk and Lynch going at each other in the ring and her slapping him because you knew them coming back to Chicago.
They foreshadowed the hell out of it. The mention of I hate you and your whole family.
Right.
I mean, it's been foreshadowed like crazy.
I would have rather them waited till this night to have this interaction, right? And say she starts slapping him in the middle of the ring tonight. Or by tonight I mean last night, because last night was 2 nights ago now. But the airing of SmackDown, I would have rather that been the time she actually go off on him and smack him and have AJ run in from the crowd, right? Like maybe she's somewhere in the crowd, or maybe she just decides to run out from back, because at that point
then they can't get that big pop at the entrance.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. They played her theme song and I didn't recognize it. Maybe I just was never big on her fucking theme song.
Well, I recognize it.
I didn't.
It's also been a long time, Nick. It's been
listen though,
almost 4,000 days.
Listen though, if Austin disappeared for 10 years and his music hit, you know damn well.
Okay, you're talking about probably a top fiver of all time.
I know.
Entrance.
But no, it's not even just him. If you're sitting there and it's been how many years, and all of a sudden you heard, "You're looking at the real deal now," you know who it is.
Yeah, I do, but there's thousands, if not millions, of people who are going to be equally confused.
No, no. God damn it. Look, actually, funny enough, I got it, dude. That we'll talk about that off camera. Somebody made me mad. No, I'm going to talk about it. Stash Club Wrestling. For those of you that don't know, they were doing a video where it was a quiz that was guess the wrestler based off their first ever theme song. And
Ooh, first ever?
first
Eee.
ever theme song. It was a rough quiz, don't get me wrong. And I even got
Oh, I bet.
I even got the answer to what made me mad wrong, but I knew the song. It was Godsmack's Voodoo.
Yeah.
And they tried to compare it to Nickelback. And I was like, are you serious? They were like, who's this fake karaoke song of this? It was the real version of the song. It was the actual version, because it was Batista's first ever theme song.
From OVW?
Yeah. And it's the legit song. Like, it's...
Sure.
It's,
that was back before these rules.
Right. So, and they were just like, yeah, I've never heard this song. I don't know what this is. And I'm just like, I hate you guys sometimes. I don't... Maybe
Are they young? Are they young? Are they younger than us, Nick?
They technically grew up in the back half of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Those poor bastards.
Yeah. But yeah, I was so annoyed.
Once we were all adults and had jobs and responsibilities.
But yeah, no, I just hate the choreograph because again, they were already going to sell out in Chicago. Punk's gonna you knew Punk was gonna be there. They're not gonna not sell out in Chicago. So you didn't.
This has been in the works for a while,
right? But you just didn't need the choreograph. Let it be a legit surprise, because there were some people that were mad at Sean Ross Sapp because Sean Ross Sapp actually reported that she was gonna be there Friday, and people were like, "You ruined the surprise." I said, "WWE ruined this fucking surprise."
There is no surprise anymore. That's why the Rumbles are so tame now. Everything's put out there. Everything. Everything.
Aside from all of my complaining, the good news is, I don't know the full details, but AJ signed a multi-year deal, so it's not just she's here for one match and she's going to be gone. So she's here for a few years at the least.
I don't know if I care for that, though.
I do, because there are tons of women I am ready to watch AJ wrestle that she didn't have the opportunity to go up against because they weren't there.
Let's just hope her work is still good, because we technically haven't seen her work yet.
But if she's back in now, I've seen her doing some training with Punk, because there are training videos of the stuff that she's doing. Obviously, it's her husband.
Sure, they've been training for a while. They were in a wrestling show on. They were in heels.
However, if she's able to still go, like. Honestly, my personal most excited match that I'm ready to see her go up against is her and Bliss.
Her and Nikki Bella.
No, her and Bliss.
Just like the old days. Her and who?
Bliss. I think would put on a hell of a match. Naomi.
I'd rather see her and Liv.
Naomi, when Naomi comes back, I like Bliss way more than Liv.
I don't. I think Liv's a better worker.
Yeah. She's good at slamming her shoulder into that mat. No, I'm talking shit for no reason. I like Liv, don't get me wrong. I'm just way more of a Bliss fan. I've always been a Bliss fan, though. I'm ready for some Bliss match, like her and Bliss, her and Liv, her and Naomi when Naomi comes back from being pregnant. Naomi was posting on Twitter. She said something along the lines of Big Jim sleeping in the doghouse because he got her knocked up and now she can't wrestle against AJ. Because AJ is one of her biggest inspirations in the business. So yeah, fun times. And then we got her and Tiffany would probably be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
She needs to stay away from Nia.
Yeah, everybody needs to stay away from Nia. Except Jade Cargill. Have at it.
Listen.
Knock yourselves out. Literally, just knock yourselves out.
All the Japanese women. Her and Io would be a hell of a match.
Maybe. AJ's never wrestled that style of match before. I'd have to see it. I would be excited for it, but I'd have to see how well it actually works.
Uh, anyways, so that was SmackDown. I liked it. I think it's their best SmackDown in a long time. Maybe not 4 years. I probably way over exaggerated that, but
it was fine. It was a tale of two returns. And you could tell that was the only spots they put any real care and concern into.
somebody put out a very good point. They probably saved the AJ Lee return for this specific episode so that it overshadowed Brock's coming back.
Yep. Got to get that. And they ended it with it. So, end with all that good press and just the distraction of the guy who may be named in some
lawsuit somewhere.
Unfavorably lawsuit.
So AEW Collision, we're still in Philly. We got Shivani and Nigel on commentary. We are told at some point during this show, specifically, that Daniel Bryant will be back Wednesday for commentary. Now, I had already heard and sent Joe a message by the time all this happened anyways, that he was supposed to be back full time.
Hopefully he's taking Shivani's spot.
It would be so nice. Although, part of me also really hopes him and Nigel are together on Collision every week.
So they can just talk shit to each other.
Just so they can hate each other. It would be so great, dude. It would probably eventually get annoying, but at least for the first few weeks, I would be thoroughly entertained.
You got to save those moments for like the pay-per-views.
Right.
That way it doesn't get old quickly.
So anyways, we start with immediately Jon Moxley versus Daniel Garcia. Daddy Magic is guest commentator in this match because we all care for that.
Yep.
Match starts pretty slow with some, more traditional mat wrestling type stuff.
Yep.
Daniel eventually starts to get the upper hand and starts to work Mox's leg. They're acting like this is some, early 1990s WWF stuff.
So I loved it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I did. Figure four on the post spot and everything.
Yeah, they eventually go to the outside of the ring, and Mox takes Daniel down. Marina Shafir actually helps him up. Which
yanks him up.
Which is funny, because I don't know if anyone noticed it. Because, again, I have this habit of watching the stupid people that are outside of the ring just as much as the people inside of the ring. She was actually rooting Garcia on throughout a lot of the match.
Yeah. Mox wants everybody to be better, man.
I know. Well, I'm wondering if they're not going to try to develop some sort of like love interest type shit between the two of them.
Garcia and
listen. There were certain
She's
ways.
Rodney's wife.
I don't care. Wrestling doesn't care.
Wrestling cares.
Lies.
No, wrestling doesn't care.
But no, now again, they probably aren't. But like
it's just like the Yuta and Stat thing.
It's weird. Okay.
It's just weird because it's coming from her.
Yes, she's never shown like caring. She's never even showed care to like the people in her own group, let alone anybody else.
You're not wrong.
So yes,
other than Mox, she bailed Mox out a ton.
There's bailing and then there's rooting. Dude, she was clapping when he was doing stuff on the outside. She doesn't do that with Mox. She just stands there and looks mad.
That's what they want. They want everybody to pick their game up. He's trying to save this place from the people like them. He wants them to be more than they are.
Listen, I love Mox's attitude towards it. I just wish he wasn't with everybody else. In the process of him trying to push people.
I agree.
But no, so
elevate your own people too. Yuta sucks, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Yuta sucks, but he's definitely not. He sucks in terms of his character work.
His wrestling is fine. His character work sucks.
Speaking of which, we'll get to that later too. Not with him specifically. There are some people. We'll get there. So, back from commercial. Because Mox hit a baseball slide after Marina helped up Daniel, and it led to a commercial. Back from commercial, Garcia hits a pile driver on Mox on the apron, which is always fun. Mox,
it's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah, it's the hardest part of the ring. Mox almost wins on the same roll up as their last meeting. Garcia kicks out. Garcia hits a superplex on Mox from the top because that's the only place that you can hit a superplex from. As Mox kicks out, Garcia uses a bulldog choke himself. Mox gets out of that, puts Garcia in the paradigm shift. Garcia kicks out of that. Garcia then gets out of a bulldog choke that Mox puts him in and puts Mark into an actual extremely deep sharpshooter that they tried to rename something else.
It's the Dragon Tamer. It's what he names it.
Oh,
it's terrible.
It's a sharpshooter.
It's supposed to be.
Listen, you got to get out of this idea that there's only one way to do a sharpshooter because there's only been one guy to ever do it perfectly most of the time. And now he's just a bitter bitch.
He is bitter. I will give you that.
He has every right to be mad at one person specifically. Don't get me wrong.
Dude, it took his livelihood away, and he just is never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to get over it.
He can be mad at that dude all he wants, but man, he like just hates everything about everyone.
Well, it's because he didn't get a chance to pass the torch, and him bitching and complaining is his way. Is his way of passing the torch by complaining about what everybody else does.
Mox gets out of it. Garcia just has this like half face full of spit where he's been frothing at the mouth. And I'm sitting here distracted the rest of this match because I'm like, dude, wipe your face. Just wipe it. Like, there's no way you don't feel it. Eventually, Mox suplexes him over the top rope. They both
spill to the ring. Or out of the ring.
Yeah, they both tumble out. They go back in the ring, have a 4-arm battle just for Joe. Mox reverses a roll up and gets the win out of nowhere.
Yep. And Garcia is just fucking distraught.
Yeah, Marina seemed to be really rooting for Garcia in the match. That's where I actually wrote that note at. Garcia is upset, of course. Shivani goes to interview Garcia. Garcia's pissed and runs off, basically saying, like, you know, every week he's being told that, oh, he's doing a good job, but you know, he
yeah, that was a great effort. That was a great effort. Right.
He's constantly failing, and he's like, you know, it's been a good 5 years, but sometimes good just ain't good enough. I think this is still all just setting up for a huge blow off with the people that Mox has fucked over.
Well, Hook's back, and Darby's back.
Darby's back.
OC coming back at the pay-per-view, you think?
And OC's been cleared from what I've seen online. So
yeah, so he'll probably be back at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Backstage, Big Bill says this arena is where his career hit rock bottom and Philly laughed at him. He said this is the city where players spit on other players, Karens steal balls from kids in the stands. It's, by the way, all this shit happened this past week.
I know, the fucking tennis guy still in the, it was tennis, right?
No, it was baseball.
Was it baseball?
Yeah, so the ball got hit into the stands, and this dude went and got the baseball for his son and handed it to his son. And this lady came all the way across like 3 groups of stands over to yell at him and take the ball from the kid.
Ooh, that got that bitch hit.
She got booed out of the fucking stadium is basically what happened.
Ooh. That lady is lucky he didn't come with his wife.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of crazy stuff happening this week in sports, especially involving Philly.
There was some billionaire guy that was in the stands at like a tennis tournament, and a tennis player signed a hat for a kid, and the dude took the hat out of the kid's hand.
Oh yeah,
and then ran off with it.
I've seen that shit happening as well. That's crazy, dude. He said it's no wonder that your guys' main hero is a statue of a fictional character.
Rocky.
He said he comes from where people are actually tough, New York City. I thought it was a reference to WWE when he said it, and I was like, that's fucked up. But no, he was talking about his city. He said there is another guy from New York City that claims to be tough, and he's calling him out. He called out Eddie Kingston, and I was like, well, that's a thing. Because
that's such an underwhelming
You ruined what would have been. Because it would have been a great just surprise appearance, and now we get to expect Eddie Kingston's going to show up. Like, again, we're talking about, instead of having great unpredictable television, you're just going to have one great episode that you know that's going to end up happening, and it takes away from that happening because you just know he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid.
I would have rather Big Bill like had like some squash match with some underneath guy from like New York,
Yeah.
and then like just Kaz is just beating the hell out of this guy, and then he's just kind of like admonishing him on the mic, like, "Oh, you think you're a tough guy? There's nobody tougher than me." And then Kingston's music hits, and we get like a face off and shit, and then that sets up the thing. So you still get the surprise return without it being booked several weeks in advance.
Right. So yeah, that was both exciting because I mean Big Bill I think is actually better at promoing than I expected. But
It's because he had a mouthpiece for so long that people didn't really get to hear him.
right. But it ruins, like we said, a potential surprise just appearance from somebody. That is honestly going to be desperately needed for like the next 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
6
You're
months,
not wrong.
6 months to a year and a half, because they need some people. Speaking of needing people, you can have this match so I can bitch about it too.
The next match was FTR versus Adam Priest and Tommy Billington, who they wanted people to call the Dynamite Kid, which I just will not do.
He is the
I don't
nephew.
care if he's related.
He
to
is
him.
the nephew of the
I don't
original.
Give a damn.
And by the
don't
way,
give a damn.
your favorite wrestler is the one that told him he should use the name.
Look, Brett's all about family, okay? And he was like, "What? I can't stop this kid." Yeah, sure. Fucking use the
No,
name.
the kid didn't want to use it. Brett convinced him to use it. The kid's like, I don't feel like I'm good enough to have that name. And Brett's like, no, do it.
Well,
Make that
that's
money.
because he's not. And he's not. He is nothing like his uncle or whatever relation he is to him. Sure, he's a nice kid, but this was nothing. FTR gave these guys way too fucking much. Way too much. They bumped like crazy for these kids. Yeah, it started out like a wrestling match, which, you know, FTR matches usually do. FTR bumped like crazy for him. At one point, the Billingsley guy did a top rope gut wrench suplex.
That was actually really that's one of the few things I actually wrote in my notes was that gut wrench.
Yeah, my notes are not extensive on this match because I didn't care for it that much. They hit a double top rope headbutt. Like I said, FTR gave them way too much, but FTR eventually won with the suplex splash thing, superplex splash thing for the win. It was an okay match. I mean, it's not like the match was bad. It's not like it was choppy or anything like that. It was well worked. It's just they gave these two undercard folks just a lot of offense. But no, it was a fine TV match. Post match, Stoke was talking about they're going to end CNC and all that crap, just setting up for the pay per view. That's the match I want to see. Nothing they do between now and then is going to really mean anything.
My problem with this match, so I think Priest and Billington have a chance to develop into some fine wrestlers.
Sure.
But right now, they have no personality. Like,
no,
they're
wet blankets.
You got Bob Backlund and I don't even know what to.
Hey man, Bob Backlund's got one of the best heel turns of all time.
I don't care. He's so boring, and dude, like
he's an old man who wears suspenders and a bow tie.
Which surprisingly still has more personality than what Adam Priest came out with today. So the problem is apparently Adam Priest and Tommy Billington have both been kind of shining on ROH. Now I don't watch ROH, so I would have no clue. And my problem with this is, regardless of how much you shine on ROH, this is prime example. Like, would these two have probably worked out really well in the 80s when no one had a personality? Yes, probably.
You stick a manager with them that's their mouthpiece, and you move on, because their work was fine.
Yeah, their work is fine, but the problem is, I didn't care. They weren't interesting.
There's-
they just come out and
they're
they
not
just
interesting.
they
There's no charisma.
they look like local talent number 315. There's nothing
Yeah,
that makes them stand out.
No it factor at all.
And that's what they need. Like, listen, if
Yeah.
you're gonna run with the Dynamite Kid name, dude, play into it.
Yeah.
Act like your uncle. Come out and be Timu fucking Dynamite Kid. But own that shit. Like, he came out himself and it was just like, he just looks like he was just happy to be on TV. Dude, there's more to wrestling than just being happy that you're on TV.
Some of these guys just don't have that.
And it's not to say that these guys won't go on to do something, because, I mean, we've seen this before. Jeff Hardy's first appearance on fucking Velocity, he looked goofy as hell. You see him on that Velocity episode, and you're just like, oh, he ain't ever going to make it. How wrong would I be?
Dude. He was on a very early Raw wrestling Razor Ramon, where Razor Ramon gave him the Razor's Edge. And he had to have been all of like 17 years old.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
Had like this weird blonde, spiky,
Yeah.
like boxy hair. It was in green and black tights.
Right.
Yeah, he looked like nothing.
But yeah, you can get out of the creator wrestler problem. It's going to take time, and they need to find themselves. Like, characteristically, they need to find themselves.
Well, that's what Ring of Honor is supposed to be for. Like, just because they can wrestle doesn't mean you need to put them on whatever show. Collision, in this case.
And here's the thing. I'm not even 100% against them being on Collision fighting FTR, but in this specific situation, FTR should just beat the fuck out of them.
Yep. Especially since this match stemmed from a brawl.
Right.
FTR should have came in here fucking mad and just beat the brakes off these kids.
So yeah.
Because honestly, it makes them look weak going into fighting Cope and Christian.
Go ahead. I got my bitching out.
The next thing we got was a weird Outrunners segment. I won't even call it a promo.
It was a vignette.
It was a weird vignette where they're out in the fucking woods and shit.
A bunch of gay guys start showing up.
I got like a weird Barry Windham stalker vibes to the vignette.
What are Dalton Castle's people called?
The boys.
Are they just the boys? Okay, so the boys
They're
start.
the boys.
I just said a bunch of gay people show up. You all know who I was talking about.
Hey, they're not gay. They're androgynous. Gay is bad. Don't say that.
No, it's not bad.
Yes, it is.
No, it is okay to be gay.
No, I'm not saying it's not. They are not, though. You can't just call people who are not. Anywho, the boys show up looking very much like the boys, doing their shtick. And eventually Dalton Castle shows up. They do the weird 80s handshake thing. And I put Outrunners are in the woods. The boys and Dalton Castle show up. I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm interested because Dalton Castle's one of those people. I'm not a fan of his wrestling, but his character work's hilarious. And
yeah, I like his character work. His wrestling, I can understand why you don't like his wrestling. His wrestling is kind of ground and pound,
right?
Which can be a bit boring
at times. But no, his character work's amazing, and I definitely understand the appeal of him because I know anytime he's shown up in AEW, he gets a wild reception. People love seeing him on TV.
He's good, man. Him and Cody had a big, long feud in ROH before AEW that was pretty good.
Go ahead, keep going. I'll take over the match afterwards.
All right. After that, we got a Mox backstage promo where Mox just rambles for way too long. Eventually, he accepts Darby's challenge for All Out. Tells him he's going to bury him. He's gonna try to kill Darby.
Okay, so
That's literally
into
the gist of this.
To go into a little bit more detail, because I loved a lot of what he said. He's like,
he talked in circles.
He says Garcia didn't get what he wanted because Garcia wants everything that he has. Darby wants to take everything away that he has. He says, but what the hell do I have that they don't? And I think that was the whole point that he was trying to get to. He's like, everybody talks about what he has, what he doesn't have, but everybody else has it too. They just need to work for it. And he's like, the belts, everybody's worried about a belt. The belt's just a basic unit of measurement for small thinking, and he wants to think bigger. And at that point, he went into the whole I'm going to bury Darby thing. But yeah, Darby. It was weird because he was talking about burying Darby, and I was like, oh, we're going to get our first buried alive match. No, it's just another fucking coffin match. I was like,
I mean, that kind of is their buried alive match, to be honest, though.
True, but there's also been other coffin matches in other companies, so I mean, they could have just,
Yeah, but it's kind of Darby's specialty.
All right, match 3. Triangle of Madness, which is Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla, and Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander, Toni Storm, Harley Cameron, and Mina Shirakawa. I said before, now the whole thing is everybody's coming to the ring, and the stipulation for this match is there's not supposed to be anybody ringside. And not even 5 seconds before the bell rings, fucking Yuta shows up and whispers something into Chris Statlander's ear, and I'm like, go away. Like, get off my TV. This is unnecessary at this point. She even tells him to go away.
But it factors into the finish. It was very necessary.
What did it factor into?
She won with his move.
Oh, whatever. I didn't even know that was his fucking move, if I'm being honest. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen 3 or 4 different people use that stupid move.
Yeah, he uses it.
So
it's from his time when he was with the best friends in them.
Before the bell ring. Oh, I already said that. Tony congratulates Tony Schiavone, not Tony Storm. Congratulates Athena. This is one of the most amazing moments of both shows combined that we're covering tonight in terms of commentary. So Tony Schiavone congratulates Athena on being the ROH women's champ for 1,001 days.
The forever ROH champion.
Making her the longest reigning, which she was already the longest reigning champ in ROH history. Even beating out Nigel. Nigel looks at Schiavone and goes, you of all people should know it's not about the length, Tony. Tony immediately goes, nope, stop it.
Yeah, he tries to take a dig at Nigel, and Nigel twists it on him.
Anyways, but yeah, it was great. Nigel got to make a dick joke, and Tony was like, no, not happening.
Not at my expense.
So then, we get a couple of fun moments. Mina ducks a clothesline from Tekla and slides on her knees to do her little boob jiggle that she does. But as this happens, Tekla also does her spider crawl, and Mina turns around and looks, and they're like face to face, which is hilarious. But yeah, them two actually looked really good together during their actual wrestling. It's probably the best Tekla has looked solo wise against one other person.
Tekla in this match looked a lot better than she has in a long time.
I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm blaming all of Tekla looking bad solely on Queen Aminata.
Well, she was far, far away from this match, so you may be onto something.
Listen, again, I've given her the nickname Queen Aminata in my spot.
This was probably the best 4-way that they've had, and God knows they've had a lot of them.
Yeah, they have.
But this probably even eclipses the one from the pay-per-view, just in how cohesive it was. There was no really bad spots. It was a really good TV match, especially considering who all was in this match.
I was thankful that Julia's nose was still on her face.
Yes.
After last week.
Yes. Because she needed the shit out of her own face.
Yeah, she did. They mentioned that early on as well. Eventually, right before the commercial break, a big brawl breaks out. Late in the match, Julia gets stat in. I love the octopus stretch, regardless of who does it, whether it's AJ Lee, octopus, tarantula, whatever you guys want to call it, because it just depends on who it is that does it.
Yeah, it's an octopus hold.
But yeah, whether it's Julia, whether it's AJ Lee, whether it's Tekla herself, I've always loved this stupid submission.
Hell, Alistair Black had one on Damian Priest
Yeah, he
on
did.
SmackDown.
Yeah, he did. Um, but yeah, so Julia gets stat in this octopus stretch, and she has it locked in for like a minute, minute and a half while things are going on outside of the ring. Um, there are a couple reversals out of it though. Like she goes to do some, or Stat reverses, finally gets out of it. Julia reverses something that Stat's trying to do. Stat finally reverses something that she's trying to do, and it's all kind of back to back to back to back. And then Stat gets the seatbelt pin on Julia and gets the win.
Yeah, she had her in an electric chair, dropped her on her face, and then did the seatbelt pin.
Yeah, she did, right on her fucking dome.
Yep.
Post match, he'll start to beat down the faces. The faces start to fight back, but they can't. They just can't do it. And then
Can't overcome the odds.
Jamie Hayter's dumbass music hits. She comes out and quickly ruins my night. Nah, I actually right now Jamie's not on my I hate her train. I don't like her as much as everyone else does, but she comes out, takes out Julia and Sky pretty quick. Beelines for Tekla. They get into it, and then we get a stare down between Jamie and Tony. Tony kind of panics because she doesn't know why Jamie's there, and then
yeah, they've got history as well.
Yeah, and then Tony asks for a mic, gets a mic, and she's like, "Do you want to go nuts? Do you want to get nuts? Do you want to get nuts?" Asking all the basically asking Stat, Jamie, and then Tekla. And after asking if they all want to get nuts, she's like, "All right, no way out. It'll be us." And
No way out.
No, whatever.
At
all out.
Some WWE just popped into your head there.
Yeah, it did. So funny enough, when they first did this, I thought she just turned this into a 3-on-3 match that we were going to get at the pay-per-view, and I was like, well, that's kind of stupid and pointless.
Yep, it's 4-way.
Because I was very confused because of how it all played out. Because I thought it was going to be the Triangle of Madness versus the 3 women in the ring. I was like, well, that's one-sided. But no, it's just a 4-way dance for the Women's World Championship. And here's where I have a problem with this. Listen, guys, I have been a fan of Tekla since she showed up. She should not be in a World Championship match. She has done nothing to warrant being in a World Championship match. And I like her.
Instead of having a bazillion of these freaking 8 women tag matches, they should have been building her up with singles victories.
Right. Because really what it sounds like this is going to turn into is it's going to just be everybody focusing on Tekla so much. Like, I feel like she's in this match to be the whooping girl. Because she's the only heel.
You're not wrong. Dude, it's just going to lead to a giant schmoz. If Tony's reign is ended because of some weird numbers game and schmoz finish...
It depends on who wins, though, right? Because
there's only one heel, and usually it's heels that win that. Tekla ain't built to win right now.
No, I'm not. I don't think Tekla's going to win, though. You can still get whatever weird smudge happened and have somebody like Hayter escape with a victory from it. And I think that is the most likely to happen if it goes that route. Because I don't feel like they're definitely not going to let her lose to Tekla. Tekla ain't been there long enough, and if they do, that would be the dumbest thing Tony could do with that title. So no, I don't. Yep. I don't think there's a chance she wins it. I think
there may be some weird Death Rider bullshit with Stat, and Stat turns heel and wins,
and that could be it. But I don't know if they're listen. It would be a weird time to turn her heel because they've all of a sudden started doing this stuff with Harley, and her and Harley are clicking really well right now. As far as personalities. So, again, I think if a title changes hands, it's more probable that it goes to Jamie right now. But I don't think the title's going to change hands. I still think Tony's going to win.
I hope so.
But my problem with this is so, obviously, All Out. I about called it No Way Out again. Obviously... listen, first and foremost, they need to get rid of All Out and change it to something else. Like, now that they have All In, they just need to get rid of All Out.
I agree. Use one or the other.
I don't...
An All In is much better.
I don't need both, and I definitely don't need both 3 months from each other. Like, that's... Put one like if you're gonna do both of them, put one at like the beginning of the year and the other one at the middle of the year or something. I don't know, but but no. Somebody was like, somebody on Twitter before all of this happened was like, the All Out card is so pointless. And this is supposed to be the WrestleMania, and it's like, no, their WrestleMania was All In. All Out is basically like their SummerSlam, their Fall Brawl, whatever.
Their main show now is pretty much Double or Nothing.
There's that too. I've always thought of All In as their main show because that's the one that they have always pushed for biggest crowds that they can get and stuff like that.
Well, you mean All Out because they just got All In last year.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about. They've had it for 2 years. This was their third year.
Has it been 3 years already?
Yeah, they did 2 years back to back over in wherever it is, England. And then they had their one.
That was All Out.
1 year in Texas. No, All In.
You're right, because All Out's always been in like Chicago.
Always. And then so that was my problem with this match. And it was just a very quick reason to just build a very pointless 4-way women's match for the world title. And that pisses me off the most. Like,
to me, all it does is confirm that they have no creative for the main title for their women.
Right.
Or no meaningful creative anyways.
It's not just her. And we'll go ahead and take this time to talk about what Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray, however you want to call him, said on Twitter. So on Twitter this week, Bubba Ray had said something along the lines of AEW currently doesn't have any real direction. And he's not wrong. And
they're always like this.
Well, yes and no. Because when they were building All In this year, it felt different. Like the stories that were going on were being built to go into All In. And I feel like that's what led to All In being as good of a show as it was. Because again,
they just didn't have anything post that.
Right. And that's kind of where.
And then you got the weird fucking promotion show with the New Japan and CMLL.
Right. They got in this weird situation also where all of their top stars got injured. And now they didn't get injured at all In. They've been injured. From what I could tell, this is like, again, Swerve has been fighting an injury since 2019 that he's finally going to get fixed. I think Ospreay has known he needed to get his neck checked on and finally just did it. Probably right around All In. Either shortly before or shortly after or whatever. And then, of course, Kenny Omega, he knew he was going to have this time off for doctor's issues. So I don't even know why they brought him in to do anything in the meantime. Because all you're doing is getting people's hopes up that he's going to be around.
To write him off on TV.
Right. Well,
for some fucking reason.
He was already gone, though. Like, you brought him back for a pay-per-view.
I know. And you brought him back to write him off again.
It's just so dumb. And it's just, but this is one of those situations, like I said, I agree with Bubba. And they don't have direction. They just BS'd themselves into a 4-way dance for the Women's World Championship. We haven't talked about it yet, but tonight they BS'd their way into a men's world title match that honestly I don't care for right now.
I don't want to see it at all.
I think,
and I like both participants.
Do I think that match is going to be a banger of an actual match? Absolutely. But it
was just abrupt and made no sense.
Yeah, there's no story for it. And this is where AEW struggles, is because they are trying to lean super heavy into the more sports-oriented side of it.
But they have a hard time capturing casual fans.
Right. And because here's the thing. I know when I go to watch All Out, I'm going to enjoy it. I know the matches themselves are going to be good. I know
Yeah.
that I'm going to see some crazy stuff. Like, I'm looking forward to Darby trying to kill himself like he always does. It happens. Like, everything about the show I feel like is going to be entertaining from a visual standpoint. But at the end of the day, none of it matters because
Yep.
there's nothing, there's
nothing driving the mayhem.
right. And again, I'm sure they probably had plans in place before everybody decided to go out on injury leave. And now they're scrambling to try and fix things. Because again, we just had. I don't think Tony would have just been like, "Oh, let's just announce a call in for Eddie Kingston." I feel like he would have used that as a big reveal somewhere if it wasn't for the fact he just needs Kingston there.
I figured when Kingston came back, he would go into a program with Mox.
Right. And he may still get involved with Mox, like for all we know. I think it's definitely weird to use Big Bill to call in Kingston because I don't think they've ever had an issue with each other on TV that I can remember.
They haven't, but like you said, they're booking for spectacle and not really direction.
Right. But yeah, so there was my side rant for the day.
All right, you want me to go through all these fucking backstage segments next? It's like 6 of them in a row.
Certainly.
Ace Austin gets a hype package where they show a lot of his super athletic stuff. The kid should never be on a microphone, though. He literally didn't have much to say.
He's a better talker.
Talented kid.
I will say he's a better talker than you think. I have seen him a little bit in TNA.
His voice just comes across a bit whiny. But great athlete, does super cool stuff. We'll hopefully get to see more of him. They've only used him, the one time we saw him on Collision about 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
So hopefully he gets some more time there. Kind of just a filler segment, not a whole lot going on. Like I said, hopefully he'll get some matches where he can actually start showing some stuff. Next, we got a segment that I wasn't too fond of, even though I love the people in it. Austin Gunn and Juice get a backstage interview. And, they're kind of directionless right now. They kind of talk about that, and they're like, we keep saying guns up, but the guns are down. And they're getting rid of the cardboard cutouts, which is my favorite part of their whole gimmick.
I'll tell you why I love this segment as soon as you're done with it. Because I know what they're doing.
So they need to find out what's next for them, and they kind of abruptly leave the promo after saying that. So what do you have?
I know what they're going to do because they ended the conversation with saying that they have to play the cards that are dealt. This literally after Ace Austin had just been interviewed and talked about being a part of Bullet Club over in New Japan. I'm pretty sure they're about to put Ace Austin with these guys. Because
I don't hate that.
Him being a previous part of Bullet Club, and they're supposed to be Bullet Club Gold. It just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't hate that. But why do they have to be a trio? Because they're going to get a run at the trios titles?
Honestly, none of them are.
Can you see them beating the Ops? I can't.
So the problem is, and this is something that I prefer them to do this for now until people start getting healed up and brought back, than trying to push them in single situations. Because you've got, I don't think they function well, the two of them as a tag team. They're not built as a tag team for them. But you don't want to just
make Juice the fucking wrestler and have Austin as the hype guy.
I feel like Juice works better in a team environment because he was mostly used as a trios guy. He was the third wheel whenever the Guns would do trio stuff, or it would be him and Switchblade. I think
you're saying they're two tag team wrestlers who just can't be
correct.
A good tag team together.
Correct. And I think that's why they're going to throw Ace Austin in there, because Ace Austin will give them a trio. And I'm not saying they're going to go for the trios title specifically, not right now. But it'll give them time to work together and hopefully just fill up some time. Because right now, the only true solo star they have is Switchblade. who can't stay healthy to save his fucking soul. Not that Colton's doing much better at that.
To be honest with you, the most healthy one out of the bunch has been Austin Gunn.
Yeah.
Because Juice has been out hurt. Colton's been out twice. Switchblade has been out twice.
Right. I just wish they would still use them on TV hurt. Not in matches, obviously. That's before somebody's like, oh, you just want them to get even more hurt. No. But people used to be hurt and still be with their teams on a ringside level in some degree, depending on obviously the severity of the injury.
Sure.
If it's something that's just like, if
well, Colton's thing was a knee, so he
could be on crutches and just crutch his way to the ring.
He's going to be like, well, he can't be Stokely. Stokely wasn't actually hurt.
Right, but if he's really on crutches and I'm not saying he has to be involved in the matches, but he could be out there clapping and cheering on his fucking brother.
Well, with as crazy as those matches get, though, he runs the risk of getting bumped.
Well,
well, he's a wrestler.
He at least know how to land it.
Take that flat back bump.
But yeah.
All right, I'm going to move on now to I know which was your favorite hype package of the night. Oh. The Riho and Mercedes Moné package, which was just completely and utterly weird.
And Windsor
match.
Sorry.
It set up a tag match on Dynamite of Moné and
oh god, Emi Sakura.
Emi Sakura. I couldn't read my own writing for the Emi part. So Moné and Emi Sakura versus Riho and Windsor.
There are some legends in this business.
Emi Sakura is not one of those.
Who I never want to see in a wrestling ring. Ever again.
And Emi Sakura.
And Emi Sakura is one of those. Like, people love when she comes around, and I have never watched a match with her in it and been like, oh man, she was so good. Never. Not once.
Well, she's old. She's kind of older now, so she doesn't move like she used to.
Then she needs to move out of the way and let other people wrestle.
Well, she's got like ties to Riho, so this makes sense.
Listen,
at least
somewhat. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. I just don't want to see it.
I don't disagree.
Anyways, keep going.
Speaking of things that I don't want to see, Don Callis is out next, and I'm usually a proponent of Don Callis, but he is just on the screen on this show far too much.
Oh, I'm about to get fired up. Keep going.
So they hype up the Hangman versus Josh Alexander match for Dynamite coming up. Apparently Fletcher is now coming for Hangman's title, even though he's the TNT champion, which just makes Fletcher seem like a kind of fill-in opponent for Hangman in the meantime.
Yep.
Says he wants to be dual champion. Wants Hangman at All Out. Talks about Mark Briscoe, like, yeah, you're not getting a title shot right now because you're going to lose to Talk. Just a lot of filler stuff that I was just not into at all. I am into Alexander versus Hangman, but I don't.
Josh Alexander cut the best promo of the fucking night.
Yeah, he did.
And he had the mic for a whole 30 seconds, dude.
Yep.
This man did not need to be in the Don Callis family.
No, he never did. He never needed to.
He's the only one that can talk, wrestle, carry his own. He carried TNA on his back for like 5 years.
Yep.
There is no reason for him to be in the Don Callis family. And here he is as a goddamn side piece to fucking Felcher.
And remember, kids, he's a fleshlight.
I am. I actually love Kyle Fletcher. But Fletcher isn't to the same level that Josh Alexander is. Josh Alexander is a complete package right now.
Yep. I agree with everything you said. The bad thing is they're not trying to push him.
I'm going to run through Hangman's... He said, I'm going to run through Hangman's bitch ass for me and my family. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, Josh Alexander, unfortunately, is like the fourth or fifth best person in his own group based on booking alone, not ability. Ability, he's probably second, um, behind Tak.
Yep.
Okada, Okada's work, I don't like. I don't like American Okada.
American Okada has like had 2 great matches, and everything else has just been like, what are we doing?
It's just been phoned in lazy ass effort. But yeah, apparently that's where we're going. Hangman's about to fight the Don Callis family. Every single fucking one of them, apparently. Until Takeshita gets tired of him, and then Takeshita teams with him, probably.
Right.
But that was that. You got anything else to add to that?
No. I went off. Josh Alex. I love Josh Alexander more and more every time he gets more involved.
Yep.
And I just want to see more of that guy succeeding. I don't care about the
I
rest.
agree.
I don't care about most of the rest of the family. That guy specifically,
Right.
though, I want to see him
So
succeed.
I understand why they put him with the Don Callis family when he first got there. He's a natural heel. They were a group. They were a lot smaller than. It made sense. But now they're so big, he just gets lost in the shuffle, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Speaking of lost in the shuffle, Paragon's backstage.
Random hologram vignette, evil hologram.
I just could not care. Even though Kyle O'Reilly seemed pretty psyched about the ability to clone wrestlers.
He said, "Wow, we did it. We're cloning luchadors now," and I laughed. I love Kyle, dude. He's so goofy.
I hate this gimmick he's doing right now, where he's trying to get the Paragon and the conglomeration to be a thing, and Roddy's just like not having it. Roddy's so pissed off. He calls Ishii Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Kyle's trying like hell to keep this makeshift group that only works in his head together. My one note is what a waste for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I'll talk about before I let you do the main event, Anthony Bowen's backstage interview. If you didn't know, he's the pride of AEW, and he lets everybody know that because he just came back from some movie premiere where he
Conjuring
is representing the
WB.
company as the pride of AEW. Yep. Huh?
It was WB. He said he was there for The Conjuring.
Sure. But he's the pride of AEW. This brings out Jerry Lynn, who pretty much tells him he needs to reflect on himself and look in the mirror and find out what he's missing. And my one note is, are we getting a scissor reunion? You think they're teasing a scissor reunion?
No, I don't.
Yeah, what do you think he's missing?
I think he's going to beat the shit out of Jerry Lynn.
Yeah?
Yep.
He's just going to go around and beat up all the trainers and stuff?
Although, that could be. Just beating on people. That's what he does. That's what he's going to do. I'm telling you, dude, they're going to push him full heel. Like, it's going to happen.
Oh, fuck, he pretty much already is full heel. The only person who thinks he's a babyface is himself.
So, funny enough, I have barely any notes for this last match. I was not as happy with it as I was hoping to be. It wasn't bad.
Huh?
So Dong Phallus is on commentary. Boo.
Ooh.
And honestly, for the first time in a long time for me, honestly didn't add anything to the match that made it entertaining.
I forgot he was even there.
Usually he does. Halfway through the match, he got off to go get involved in the match, though. So, basically, I said it's an okay match. I didn't take any notes for the actual match itself. So this match was also littered with people walking in and out, and me making sure people were taking meds and stuff. So there's a lot of.
Well, here I
pausing and
have
walking
some
away.
notes, so I'll go through it.
I was gonna say I can pick up right when MJF comes in. That's about it.
All right, so it was a back and forth match. There was a draping off the apron DDT on Mark Briscoe. Briscoe hit a nice Fisherman Buster, and I'm a pretty big snob when it comes to Fisherman Busters. But that Fisherman Buster he hit was pretty darn good. Blue Thunder Bomb by Tak for a near fall. Tak hit a dive to the floor. Uh, Briscoe hit a blockbuster off the apron to the floor. Double clothesline. Both of them went down. Sunset flip power bomb. Jay went for the froggy bow.
Mark.
Or not Jay. Jay's
That'd
deceased.
be one hell of a froggy bow, boy. Let me tell you.
Boy, the corpse of Jay Briscoe. Mark Briscoe went for a froggy bow. Talk countered with some knees. Looked like he hurt himself in the process. Oh, there's a spot where Talk hit a very, very high angle German suplex that Briscoe then no-sold and then clotheslined the shit out of Talk.
It's all that meth, man.
A little driver into a wheelbarrow suplex for a near fall from Talk on Briscoe. And then we got the distraction.
And I'm
the good old Don Callis distraction spot.
I'm kidding, by the way, guys. I don't actually think Mark's on meth. Nah, MJF at that point comes in, screws Briscoe over. Talk ends up winning.
He dumped him off the top rope.
Yep. Talk ends up winning. At that point, MJF starts to attack Mark in the ring, and then Takeshita pushes him off of Briscoe mad because I think that's when he realized that he didn't win on his own, and he was pissed about it.
Yep. Yeah, because nobody was supposed to come out
and interfere.
To interfere.
Him and MJF almost got into it. That's a match I'd love to see.
Again, they've already fought before, but
I know.
I'm down.
At that point, Callis just kind of drags him out. He's like, yo, we had a deal. Come on, let's go. So they go to leave, and I think this is also going to be a part of the stepping stone in Talk leaving the family. Because
I agree.
They're going to push this into... He's going to be pissed off at Don Callis for agreeing with MJF to do things like this during his matches.
Yep.
MJF gets a mic, calls Briscoe a piece of shit, and he says, you name the time, place, and stipulation, but it's not going to matter what you choose to do because your ass is mine, which MJF seems really, really mad, and I don't know why.
Right, because he had to come to work after his wedding day.
True. I mean, besides that, though, like, I mean, I know they're kind of, like, been screwing each other over.
Yeah, they're just setting up the blow off.
Right. But anyways, Briscoe basically says...
Because Briscoe hosed him at the pay-per-view and screwed him out of the title.
Right. Even though he didn't even make it to the ring. So I don't know how that ruined it for MJF.
Well, it prevented the match from finishing, and the ref eventually noticing Hangman's foot on the rope.
Right. So doing his job. Briscoe says that at All Out, he'll give her the match is going to be at All Out, and he'll give him the stipulation at a later time because things are running through my head, doggy.
It's a pretty good impression.
Listen, I've had to listen to this motherfucker talk for years because I swear to God, him and my ex-coworker are the exact same person. Do they look the same? They sound the same when they talk. It could be his long-lost brother. Other brother. Third brother.
There's a third Briscoe brother.
He's got to be a third Briscoe, dude. I swear to God. But yeah, so that's how that goes. And I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and throw the stipulation out there. Because you know damn well they know what they're going to do. They could have just said it.
Who knows, man? Maybe this shit was all thrown together last minute.
It's honestly...
It kind of
All Out
like it.
feels like it's being thrown together last minute. They got one more week of shows to put together whatever 3 to 4 more matches they're going to do.
And the bad thing is, this isn't the one that was only 2 weeks away from the other All Out.
They've had like a month and a half to plan for this.
Yep.
And they waited this long to finally get something. It's so stupid, dude. So stupid. Like, and you can 100% attribute that to the NFL season starting up.
Yep.
Tony's had to go off to worry. Like, Tony needs to pick something and stick with it and let somebody else run the other. Because this whole dividing his attention between 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 different ventures, because I know he's also got that soccer team that he runs. I don't... You can't pull yourself in that many positions.
Well, he runs like the analytics. He runs like the analytics departments.
Right.
Like his dad runs the teams. He runs like the analytics and stuff.
I mean, even still, like
Sure, I get it. But this is why you need a booking team and not just the opinion of one person.
right.
Or not just one person doing all the booking. Because he's doing the booking for at least 3 shows, too.
Yeah. And that's not including anything that they might be, because they're still supposedly still trying to plan for a third AEW show somewhere.
I hope not.
We won't cover that one. I can tell you that right now. Unless they give us a reason to. Like if it's really good, I would start to cover it. But otherwise, I don't care. But yeah, no, I thought it was an okay collision. Again, my highlight of the entire night was Josh Alexander, and I want to see more of that guy.
Yeah, I agree. Winning matches for a change.
Well, to be fair, he was the one that got the pin for the Don Callis family the last 2 times. So
I know, but before that, he was the one taking all the L's.
also true. And here's the thing: I have very, very minimal experience with Josh Alexander as a whole. I know of him because of TNA and how big of a name he was over in TNA for a while. He was their world champion until I believe he was beat by Nick Namath. They don't call him Dolph anymore. I'm pretty
Dolph Nemeth.
I'm pretty sure Nick is the one that beat him, and then Joe Hendry took that.
Joe Hendry beat him
from him, and then Trick beat him. So that's kind of where we're at now. But yeah, that's it for wrestling this week, guys. Next week is going to be interesting. So we've obviously got Monday Night Raw. And then we've got a special 3-hour Dynamite.
Oh no.
And they're doing that to replace Collision, I believe. Because they don't want to do Collision on Thursday because of Thursday Night Football.
Oh, is this their Jacksonville show?
I don't remember what it is. I just know that it's even got a special name for the 3-hour show.
Title Tuesday or whatever.
It's not that, but
or Title Wednesday.
It's got a weird name that I have not heard from them before. Or I might have. Hold on. AEW's special show for this coming Wednesday. It's in. Actually, it's still in Philly.
Oh yeah, because next week ends their residency there.
Yeah. September to Remember is that's the following week. Never mind, that's not next week. Their September to Remember show is the 3-hour one, I believe, or maybe no, because I'm pretty sure next week's is a 3-hour because they were talking about it. No, it is the 17th. 17th will be a 3-hour September to Remember special on TBS. So yeah, my bad, guys. That's not next week. So never mind. It's gonna be a normal week of wrestling. But I don't know how they're gonna do Collision.
Well, are we really gonna be all that upset if they don't?
I mean, they're going to. I just don't know how, because both
Friday afternoon,
both wrestling shows, or no, they'll still do it Saturday, because the pay-per-view is not till the next week. I think that's where my confusion is. As I, for some reason, right now thought the pay-per-view was this weekend, and it's not.
Nope. This weekend is the GCW show we talked about going to.
Yeah. And if you guys don't go, I'm perfectly fine not going. I only know one person there.
Matt Cardona.
That's the one. I've heard of Effie, but I don't know who he is actually.
Effie's a girl, I think.
He, she, they, whatever. But yeah, no, I don't know anybody else on that show.
No, Effie is a dude. My apologies.
Even the guy that they got wrestling from Indy that's supposed to be wrestling Matt Cardona, I have no clue who that is.
I've seen him before. He's been around forever.
But no, yeah,
Why did I think Effie was a girl?
this is a very normal week of wrestling. It's the next week that we're getting the 3-hour Dynamite because they're not going to have they might not have a collision. I don't know. We'll see.
We will indeed.
No, it says that block for September. Remember, that block will serve as the final promotion for All Out. It's a 2-hour live episode of Dynamite with a special 1-hour episode of Collision tied onto the back end of it.
Okay, so it will be like a 3-hour show.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the week before the pay-per-view. So, like I said,
nice.
I was pretty sure they weren't going to do Collision on Thursday because of football. And then because...
And smart, because their ratings would be abysmal.
Well, their ratings are already abysmal right now because of football.
It's true. It's true.
They hit like record highs for like the last couple of years shortly after All In. And now they're at like record lows for the entirety of the company currently with like 470,000, I think was their now obviously this is not including Max. But their cable viewership is just...
Yeah, that's down about 200,000 people from normal.
Yeah, terrible. But again, there's a lot going on. Honestly, all of wrestling's in a slump, though. Even Raw's on the low end of their viewership currently. So, who knows?
It ebbs and it flows.
It does. It's wrestling. But yeah, that is it, guys. We managed to get it all done in an hour and 41 minutes.
Nice.
It's the longest one we've had in a long time. We love y'all. We'll talk to you next time. Deuces.
Later.